The first thing you notice isn't the gun. It's the smell. Diesel, dust, and something sweet rotting in a ditch you learn not to look at. Sinaloa, Mexico. Population afraid. You're 15. You sell oranges at a traffic light on the highway between Culiacan and Mazatlan. On a good day, you make 80 pesos, roughly $4.50. On a bad day, someone steals your oranges. On a really bad day, someone steals you. Here's a number that should make you nervous. The cartels recruit an estimated 50,000 new members every year. Not soldiers, kids. Kids who sell oranges, wash cars, skip school, and every alley in their neighborhood better than the police do. The recruiter doesn't look like a villain. He pulls up in a dusty pickup, buys all your oranges without counting them, and asks if you want to make 500 pesos a day. That's more than your mother makes in a week cleaning houses. He doesn't mention the gun. Not yet. Your new job title, halcón, a hawk, which sounds cool until you realize what it means. You sit on a plastic chair at the corner of your street, 12 hours a day, watching military trucks. You text a number, police, text, a car you don't recognize, text. You're a human security camera, paid in cash, and you just joined one of the most powerful criminal organizations on the planet. The Sinaloa cartel isn't a gang, it's a multinational corporation with a body count. At its peak, it operated in over 50 countries, generated an estimated $3 billion per year, and employed more people than some Fortune 500 companies. The CEO? A man called El Chapo, who escaped from a maximum security prison, twice, through a tunnel with a motorcycle in it. Actually, let's pause on that. He literally had a mile-long tunnel built under the prison, complete with lights, ventilation, and a motorcycle on rails. The construction crew worked for months. Nobody noticed. Or more accurately, everybody noticed and nobody said a word. That's the cartel's real product, not drugs. Silence. You're good at silence. You sit on your plastic chair, you text the number, you collect your 500 pesos, and you don't ask what happens to the people the trucks come for. Asking is how you become one of them. By month 6, you're promoted. Not because you're talented, because the guy above you disappeared. That's how promotions work here. Someone vanishes, everyone moves up one chair. You're a punto now, a checkpoint operator. You stop cars on dirt roads, check faces against photos on a phone, and wave the right ones through. The wrong ones, you don't ask, you text the number. By the time you walk back to your chair, the car is already gone, and the road is quiet. You learn that quiet is just the sound the cartel makes when it's working. Here's something the news never tells you. The cartel pays better than the government. A Mexican police officer earns roughly 9,000 pesos a month. You're making 15,000, and you're 16. A soldier earns 12,000. Your boss earns more than the governor. This isn't crime competing with the system. This is crime replacing it. By your 17th birthday, you've saved more money than your father earned in 3 years of construction work. You buy your mother a refrigerator. She doesn't ask where the money comes from. She knows. She puts fruit in it and closes the door. And that closed door is the loudest sound in the house. Then one night, a truck pulls up to your checkpoint and a man you've never seen hands you a black bag. Inside, a bulletproof vest, a radio, and an AR-15 rifle. He says one sentence. Training starts tomorrow. The training camp is a ranch in the mountains. No address, no phone signal. 40 recruits sleeping on dirt floors, running drills at 4 in the morning, learning to strip and reassemble an assault rifle blindfolded. The instructors are ex-military, some Mexican special forces, some say there are even foreign mercenaries. 3 months of this, not everyone finishes. Not everyone was meant to. You learn to shoot, to drive at high speed on dirt roads, to communicate in code on radios, and, this is the part no movie shows, to dig holes, deep ones, fast, without asking why. The shovel is the cartel's most honest tool. After 3 months, you walk out of that mountain a different animal. You're a Sicario now, a hitman, an enforcer, a soldier in a war that has no uniforms, no rules, and no discharge papers. Your salary, roughly 30,000 pesos a month, plus bonuses. The bonuses are per job. Your first job isn't what you expect. No assassination, just intimidation. You and 3 others drive to a small business, walk in wearing vests and carrying rifles, and explain to the owner that he now pays a monthly fee for protection. He agrees before you finish the sentence. His hand shakes so badly he can't sign his own name. The math of the cartel is simple. Control the plaza, the territory, and everything inside it pays you. Drugs, yes, but also avocado farms, lime orchards, gas stations, taxi companies, construction firms. The cartel taxes everything that moves and most things that don't. It's not crime, it's government with better guns. You're assigned to a squad of 12. You eat together, sleep in the same safe house, patrol in the same armored truck. These men are your brothers and your hostages. If one talks, all 12 pay. Sound familiar? Every empire runs on the same math, loyalty through mutual destruction. Months pass, jobs blur together, checkpoints, collections, the occasional chase. You stop flinching at gunfire somewhere around month 4. You stop sleeping through the night around month 6. You stop counting the jobs around month 8. One night, your squad leader hands you a phone with a photo, a face you recognize, someone from your town, a man who used to buy your oranges. The order is simple. He talked. Fix it. And here it is. No table, no wooden sword, just a phone screen glowing in a dark truck and a face you've known since you were 12. Path A, do the job, stay in the cartel, keep your family safe, keep your salary, keep the only career that ever paid you more than $4 a day. This is what you signed up for, even though nobody ever asked you to sign. Path B, refuse, drop the phone, drive south, cross into Guatemala with whatever cash you've saved, and pray that a cartel with operations in 50 countries doesn't find one kid with a backpack. Which would you choose? Type it in the comments right now, and see if you still agree with yourself by the end. You do it, not because you want to, because wanting stopped being relevant the night they gave you the vest. You drive to the address, you knock, the man opens the door and recognizes you. His face does something complicated, relief, then confusion, then understanding. The whole thing takes 11 seconds. You don't sleep that night, or the next. Your squad leader gives you a bottle of tequila and a sentence. The first one is the hardest, the second one is Tuesday. He's right. By the 4th job, you stop remembering faces. By the 7th, you stop remembering days. The jobs become math, coordinates, timelines, exit routes. You're not a person doing terrible things. You're a system executing commands. The difference is important. It's how you sleep. By 19, you're running your own squad. 8 men, 2 trucks, a territory the size of a small city. You collect fees from 40 businesses. You earn more in a month than a doctor earns in a year. You buy your mother a house. She moves in, plants flowers in the yard, and never once invites you inside for longer than 20 minutes. She knows that every minute you're in her house, someone is watching. The flowers are for the neighbors. The 20-minute rule is for your brothers. Here's the statistic nobody puts on a recruiting poster. The average working life of a Sicario is 3 to 5 years, not career length, lifespan. Most die before 25. The ones who survive usually end up in prison, where the average stay is 14 years, but feels like the rest of time. The cartel war shifts. The Sinaloa splits. Factions fight each other. The same people who shared safe houses now share target lists. Your squad leader gets a new phone with new photos, and some of the faces belong to men you trained with on that mountain ranch. You're 21. You've been a Sicario for 4 years, which statistically makes you a survivor. You've also been shot twice, broken 3 bones, and developed a twitch in your left eye that starts every time a car door slams. The money is real. The nightmares are realer. One morning, a convoy of Marines rolls into your territory. 50 vehicles, helicopters. Someone gave up the plaza. The firefight lasts 40 minutes. You lose 3 men. You escape through a drainage tunnel, crawling through sewage in body armor, holding your rifle above your head, listening to your brothers die on the radio. The cartel relocates you. New city, new plaza, new name. But the same job, the same math, the same phone ringing at 3 in the morning with a photo and an address. You're 22. You've had 4 names. None of them are yours. It ends on a Tuesday. Of course it does. An armored truck, a wrong turn, and a checkpoint that isn't yours. The men on the other side wear the same vest, carry the same rifles, and work for the faction that used to be your family. The irony is mathematical. You're being killed by the same organization that made you. The last thing you see is a plastic chair at the side of the road, just like the one you used to sit on, selling oranges, before anyone offered you 500 pesos and a future with a 3-year shelf life. So you win, probably. But what if you dropped the phone? What if, when that screen glowed with a face you recognized, something older than the cartel woke up inside you? Careful what you wish for. This road has no guardrails. You refuse. You tell your squad leader the gun jammed, the target wasn't home, anything. He looks at you the way a butcher looks at a cow that tried to leave the line. He doesn't believe you, but he gives you one more chance, because replacing trained sicarios costs money, and money is the only language the cartel speaks fluently. That night, you take the cash from under your mattress, 80,000 pesos, roughly $4,000. Everything you've earned that you could actually hide. You leave your phone on the nightstand. You leave your rifle in the truck. You leave your name on the doorstep. You take a bus south, then another bus, then a truck full of migrants heading toward the Guatemalan border. The same route the drugs travel, but in reverse. You cross at night, through jungle, with a group of strangers who are running from the same country for different reasons. Guatemala isn't safe, it's just less dangerous. You move to a small town, work in a construction yard, and call yourself a name you made up on the bus. You don't speak to anyone about anything that happened north of the border. You learn that silence is portable. The cartel taught you something useful after all. A year passes, then 2. You hear through whispers that your squad was dismantled, 3 arrested, 2 killed, 2 flipped to the other faction. Your name is on a list somewhere. But lists fade when the people who wrote them have their own problems, and in Mexico, everyone has their own problems. You meet a woman who makes tortillas for a living and doesn't ask about your past. She notices the scars on your knuckles and the way you sit facing the door. She doesn't ask about those either. You marry her in a small church where nobody checks IDs, and for the first time in 6 years, someone calls you by a name and means it with love. You have a son. You teach him to count money by selling fruit at a roadside stand, oranges, because that's the only honest work you've ever known. One day he asks why you flinch when trucks drive by. You tell him it's the dust. He'll believe that for a few more years. After that, you'll need a better answer. You grow old, which is itself the miracle. You die at 61, in a bed, in a country that isn't yours, holding a hand that never knew your real name. They bury you under a tree in a churchyard, and the priest says a prayer for a man who never existed. No squad, no radio, no phone buzzing with a photo at 3 in the morning. And for the first time since Sinaloa, the only silence is the kind that means peace. You'd drop the phone again, every single time. So which path wins? Here's the brutal truth. Mexico buried both of you the day you sat in that plastic chair. The Sicario died at 22, in an armored truck, betrayed by the same machine that built him. The runner died at 61, in a bed, forgotten by the same machine that wanted him dead. One was remembered as a number on a list, the other wasn't remembered at all. But only one of them chose the forgetting. Today, the cartel still recruits 50,000 kids a year. The highway between Culiacan and Mazatlan still smells like diesel and oranges, and somewhere on that road, a 15-year-old is sitting on a plastic chair, deciding whether $4.50 is enough or whether 500 pesos is worth the price they don't mention until it's too late. You started as a boy selling oranges at a traffic light. You ended worth 30,000 pesos a month, or one woman's tortillas, and only one of those ever fed you without asking for a piece of your soul. So, did you do the job, or did you drop the phone? Check your comment from earlier. Did you survive your own choice? And if you think the cartel was cruel, see you in your next life.